Have you ever wondered why some entrepreneurs seem to move forward with confidence and momentum, while others stay stuck, even though they are just as intelligent, hardworking, and capable? Perhaps you have invested in courses, read business books, listened to podcasts, and know exactly what you should be doing, yet somehow you still find yourself overthinking, procrastinating, doubting yourself, avoiding visibility, or struggling to maintain momentum. What if your biggest entrepreneurial weakness isn't your marketing, your pricing, or your business strategy? What if it's something much less obvious? A hidden psychological pattern quietly influencing the way you think, feel, make decisions, and take action every single day. I am Renata Karlinskaite, a psychotherapist and hypnotherapist, and I help entrepreneurs unlock their potential by overcoming the psychological barriers that hold them back. Before we begin, if you would like to better understand which hidden mental blocks may be limiting your business growth, I have created a free entrepreneurial mental blocks assessment. You can request it using the link in the description below. In today's video, I'm going to introduce you to my 6 entrepreneurial success pillars, a framework I have developed to help entrepreneurs better understand the psychological areas that most often influence business success. As we go through each pillar, I would like you to reflect on yourself and ask one simple question. Which of these feels like my biggest weakness right now? So, let's begin. One of the biggest misconceptions about entrepreneurship is that success is simply about having the right strategy. Of course, strategy matters, so do marketing, sales, financial knowledge, and technical skills. But knowledge alone isn't always enough. You can know exactly what you should be doing and still struggle to do it. The research in entrepreneurial psychology has shown that factors such as self-belief, resilience, emotional regulation, and the ability to tolerate uncertainty all play an important role in how entrepreneurs perform and persist over time. In other words, your psychology doesn't just influence how you feel, it influences decisions you make, the opportunities you take, the risks you are willing to accept, and ultimately the direction your business grows. Think about 2 entrepreneurs with exactly the same business knowledge. One consistently takes action, learns from mistakes, and keeps moving forward. The other constantly second guesses themselves, delays important decisions, or waits until they feel completely ready before taking the next step. The difference isn't always intelligence or ability. Often, it's the way they think, interpret challenges, and respond emotionally to uncertainty. That's why I created the 6 entrepreneurial success pillars. These aren't personality types and they aren't labels. They are 6 key psychological areas that influence how entrepreneurs think, behave, and grow. The purpose isn't to judge yourself or score yourself against anyone else. It's simply to increase your self-awareness, because awareness is often the first step towards meaningful change. As I explain each pillar, notice which one resonates with you the most. Very few entrepreneurs struggle across all 6. More often, 1 or 2 pillars quietly influence many of the challenges they experience in business. The first pillar is clear vision and strategic focus. This is about knowing where you are going and staying focused on what matters most. Many entrepreneurs are not short of ideas. In fact, they often have too many. They jump from one project to another, constantly change direction, compare themselves with others, or chase every new opportunity that appears. The result is that they stay busy without necessarily moving forward. Having a clear vision doesn't mean you never adapt or change course. Business naturally evolves, but when your direction is unclear, it's much harder to make confident decisions because every option can seem equally important. So, I would like you to ask yourself this question. Do I have a clear vision for where I'm going? Or do I spend more time reacting than intentionally moving towards my goals? If this pillar feels like a challenge for you, don't worry. Awareness isn't about criticism. It's simply about recognizing where greater clarity may help you move forward. The second pillar is bold, aligned action. This is where many entrepreneurs get stuck. You may know exactly what needs to be done, yet still find yourself delaying it. Perhaps you keep refining your website before launching it. Maybe you rewrite the same social media post over and over. Or perhaps you wait until you feel more confident before putting yourself out there. From a psychological perspective, this often isn't laziness or a lack of motivation. Sometimes it's your mind trying to protect you from uncertainty, failure, rejection, or judgment. The challenge is that confidence doesn't always come before action. More often, confidence develops because of action. Every small step you take gives your mind new evidence that you can cope, learn, and grow. So ask yourself, what important action have I been avoiding, and what's really stopping me? The third pillar is resilient mindset and emotional strength. Let's be honest, entrepreneurship isn't always easy. There will be setbacks, disappointments, criticism, rejection, uncertainty, and moments when things simply don't go to plan. Those experiences are part of building a business. The question isn't whether you will face challenges. The question is how you respond when you do. Many people think resilience means staying positive all the time or never feeling stressed, but that's not what resilience is. Psychology tells us that resilience is the ability to adapt, recover, and continue moving forward despite difficulties. It's not about avoiding emotions, it's about learning how to work through them. Every entrepreneur experiences fear, frustration, and self-doubt at times. The difference is that resilient entrepreneurs don't allow those emotions to define their next decision. They acknowledge them, learn from the experience, and keep moving forward. So ask yourself, when something doesn't go to plan, do I recover and adapt, or do I stay stuck in disappointment, self-criticism, or fear? The fourth pillar is money beliefs and wealth capacity. Money is one of the most emotional topics for many entrepreneurs. It's easy to think that business success is simply about charging more or increasing sales, but our relationship with money often goes much deeper than that. Our beliefs about money are shaped over many years by our upbringing, life experiences, culture, and the messages we absorbed while growing up. Those beliefs can quietly influence how comfortable we feel charging for our services, asking for a sale, investing in our business, or even receiving success. Perhaps you undercharge because you are worried people will not buy. Perhaps you feel guilty asking for more, or maybe you find yourself working harder and harder but still struggle to believe you deserve greater financial success. These aren't simply business decisions. They are often emotional decisions influenced by subconscious beliefs. So take a moment to reflect. How comfortable do I really feel earning more, charging what I'm worth, and receiving success? The fifth pillar is authentic confidence and visibility. One of the biggest challenges I see is that many entrepreneurs genuinely care about helping people, yet they struggle to let themselves be seen. They avoid recording videos. They delay posting on social media. They hesitate to promote their services, not because they don't have something valuable to offer, but because they worry about being judged, criticized, rejected, or not being good enough. Authentic confidence isn't about pretending you're fearless or believing you are better than everyone else. It's about trusting yourself enough to show up as you are, communicate your value honestly, and allow people to see what you have to offer. Visibility isn't about becoming the loudest person in the room. It's about allowing the right people to find you. So I would like you to ask yourself, if fear of judgment completely disappeared, how differently would I show up in my business? Finally, the sixth pillar is well-being, boundaries, and energy management. This pillar is often overlooked, yet it influences every other area we have talked about today. Many entrepreneurs believe success comes from working longer hours, saying yes to everything, and constantly pushing themselves harder. But sustainable success isn't built through exhaustion. The research consistently shows that chronic stress and burnout reduce our ability to make good decisions, solve problems creatively, regulate emotions, and stay focused. In other words, when your energy is depleted, your business often suffers too. Healthy boundaries aren't selfish. They are one of the ways we protect our ability to perform consistently over the long term. Managing your energy is just as important as managing your time. So ask yourself, am I building a business that supports my well-being, or am I sacrificing my well-being to build my business? Now, here is something I'd really like you to remember. Very few entrepreneurs struggle equally across all six pillars. Most people have one or two areas that quietly influence everything else. For example, someone might think they have a productivity problem when the real issue is fear of failure. Someone else might believe they lack confidence when in reality they are avoiding visibility because they are afraid of being judged. Another entrepreneur might think they need better time management when actually they are emotionally exhausted and desperately need stronger boundaries and healthier energy management. The behavior we see on the surface is often only part of the story. The deeper psychological pattern underneath is where meaningful change begins. That is why increasing self-awareness is so important. Rather than asking yourself, what's wrong with me? Perhaps ask a different question. Which entrepreneurial success pillar needs the most attention right now? That single question can change the way you approach your personal and business growth. If you would like to discover which hidden mental blocks may be limiting your business growth, simply click the link below to request your free entrepreneurial mental blocks assessment. And if you are ready to move beyond awareness and begin creating change at a subconscious level, you can also learn more about my 5-week digital mindset and hypnosis program, Rewire to Succeed Entrepreneur. Both links are in the description below. If you found this video helpful, please subscribe to the channel. I will be sharing more videos on entrepreneurial psychology, subconscious change, confidence, and the mental and emotional factors that help entrepreneurs build successful, sustainable business. Thank you so much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.